Yeah, what up, baby? It's DJ Sus One, the feature presentation, and we got a legend, dancehall legend just in general, Sean Paul, on my show.
Yoga.
Yo, my
What's
brother.
up, bro?
First of all, I want to remind you because I don't know if you remember because you travel the
Yeah.
world. You
What
travel.
is, man? So swan, man.
Yeah. My first time meeting Sean Paul, I don't know if he remembers because this guy travels internationally for his whole career, right? He's a superstar.
Yes, brother.
I DJ for Mariah Carey, but my first tour ever with Mariah Carey is
Yeah.
when I met you, but I was like a nobody, and you were opening up for Mariah and with the illest dancers of all time, might I add, and killing the
Yeah.
whole entire tour and killing everything. So I don't know if you remember that. I was Mariah's DJ,
Yeah,
afterwards.
bro. Let me tell you something. There's nobody could forget such a good DJ. So stop doing that to yourself, so swan.
I'm just saying back then I was like, who's that light skinned dude, just DJing right there. Reggie hates when I say that. Yo, all right, let's get it. Let's talk about the new project,
Yeah.
Live and Living. Talk to me
Live
about
and living.
Life and Living.
and
Sorry.
living.
What's
man.
different about this project compared to the ones you put out in the past?
Well, this one is kind of back to the roots in terms of more like how Stage One, the first album was, or even Dirty Rock, the big album. Is hardcore dancehall production, all Jamaican production, all Jamaican artists on it, except for one artist, Stoneboy. He actually came to the studio about probably 2 months ago now, and he heard the project and he's like, I gotta get on this, bro. And he backed me up. So he's on the project by default in terms of he's a great artist, but I'd intended for it to only be a Jamaican whole thing. You know what I mean? So
he's gonna get
you know,
a big look on it then.
yeah, man. So traditional sound of dancehall is on there, like people like Buju Banton, Junior Gang, Busy Signal, people like Mavado Sarani, Suka from Ward 21. All those people are on the album, or Left Side also. But also the young kind of contingent, Govey, as in Governor, and Intense and Skillibeng and Massacre and Squash. All of these guys on there too. So if you like hardcore dancehall, if you really love dancehall, you've been into it, this is an album for you. You know what I mean?
Yo, doing working with all these dancehall and reggae legends like Buju's legend, you know what I'm saying? All these guys are legends. Damian
Yes,
Marley,
sir.
Mafado. Like, how was it putting this album together? Like, is there any crazy stories that you could tell us about putting this album together, working with these goats, and you're one of the goats?
The pandemic gave me the space and time. Basically, I've been wanting to do this for a minute. And when the year started last year, we went to Australia to tour. And when it was just about finishing, like this Corona stuff was just reaching over there. Sydney had the first 2 cases. And I was like, yo, I'm out. I'm gone home. And I spent almost 2 days with a mask on a plane. That was horrendous. Because I got asthma. So I still am kind of very fearful of it or aware of it. And so by the time I got home, I'm like, I ain't going nowhere. I stayed chilling. Shaggy was laughing at me for the 2 days on the plane. He was like, yo, what you wearing a mask for? And I'm like, bro, I'm playing with this thing, man. Until now, he's wearing masks himself. So yeah, I was out for 5 months. I didn't do nothing, but I had some singles that I wanted to put out throughout the year in the dancehall culture. So I was gonna put out the Bujo and then probably the Sarani later on in the year. But just being at home, I kind of got mad bored, and then I started to go back to the studio. And people started to link me, come over and just to the studio and just like do works. So I started to realize that this is more than just a few singles, and this could be the opportunity I was waiting on to just put out an album. However, I had an album for Island Records already kind of ready. That one is coming out in May. It's called Scorcher.
Nice.
And so I decided to just do it up. You know what I mean? In terms of, I've seen these young kids right now, young artists, independent artists, they putting out music on the fly, and it's working for them. And I think that me trying to, do things in a traditional way is almost kind of, it don't make no sense right now. So I said to myself, I'm gonna approach Island Records and see if they let me do it. So big up to them, because in the contract they have that I could put out singles in the dancehall world, so to speak. But I impressed upon them that this is a whole album. So,
Nice.
you know, the 5 months and 2 albums later, here we are.
Yo, bro,
I mean, good vibe.
Let me ask you a question. I need you to answer as humbly as you can. Is Sean Paul the #1 dancehall hit maker of all time? I need to know what your opinion is. And no disrespect to my guys in dancehall, but I'm looking at this Dutty Rock album, just this album, right? Give Me the Light, Like Glue, Get Busy, Baby Boy, I'm Still in Love with You, Shake That Thing. Like these are records as a young DJ that you had to play. Like this is like
it was 5 singles deep on that album, man. 5 singles deep.
And this is not including your other hits. That's what I'm saying. And when I go to other dancehall artists' albums, no disrespect to anybody, because there's people who make hits as well. But
yeah, for sure.
This is a tremendous amount of hits that was not just in any Caribbean area, just all over the globe, all over the world, that was getting played everywhere in rotation, still to this day.
Yeah, man. That's a very special time. And even though that time is past, the music is still going. You know, I have to give thanks to everybody who was there before me, in terms of, you know, the Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, the Jimmy Cliff, Third World Band. All those people broke open international waters with their music, which was reggae. And then in Jamaica, we start developing, you know, kids start spitting on tracks on the other side of the record. And we helped to spawn things like, you know, hip hop. Big up to Kool Herc, who went to the Bronx and did his thing.
Thank you as a DJ to Kool Herc, by the way, but go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he took the sound system culture that he saw growing up in Jamaica, which that was the only way we got our records played. I mean, out here in Jamaica at the time when Bob Marley was a youngster, they weren't playing any records for the people who were producing records here on the radio, or any evening. You know, you had to go to the dance hall to hear your record.
Yeah.
So, you know, people on the radio were playing big band sound and a lot of R&B. That's why Bob Marley was heavily influenced by Curtis Mayfield. What's his name? It's Curtis Mayfield, yeah.
Okay.
So other than that, though, you know, we came to a point where Shabba Ranks broke, and we were loving records like Ting-a-ling-a-ling and Trailer Load of Girls, and all of that. But the international waters they just weren't ready for it. So he blended his sound with Maxi Priest and with Johnny Gill.
Classic. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. So those were times where it kind of was like introducing to the North American palette dancehall music, because it's something they didn't know about. Also, Shaggy did it. You know, he sampled Cypress Hill. He also did the Marvin Gaye remix with "Let's Get It On" for
Boombastic.
Yeah. And so for them doing that, they broke open the doors, allowing me, Tonto Menta, and Devante, people like Beanie Man, to like do hardcore, authentic dancehall. That the palette was now more open. You know what I mean? North America was like, yo, I want more of that. So then I blew up, and you know, big time after that. I think I was more just the right place at the right time. I was ready. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never ever thought to be, oh, I'm gonna sell on the Billboard. I'm gonna do that. What I was trying to do was to make records that Jamaican people would feel and be like, yo, bow, bow, bow. That was it. But you know, as I said, I was in the right space. Now the world is starting to say at that time, like, yo, I want to hear more of this. And I'm the person in that time frame that was trying to bridge the gap. I love hip hop music. You know what I mean? We did the thing with DMX, me and Vegas in about 98. And then we started to, you know, I reached out to different people I met in clubs. I met Tony Touch in the club. I was like, yo, I got mixtapes from you I'm a junior, bro. Let's work. You know, I met Razel. I was like, Razel, I need some of your flavor on the album. You know, also the Neptunes was real hot, and I asked them to produce a song for me. And so me bridging the gap and doing those type of things and singing about Dro, which we didn't really smoke in Jamaica, and singing about busting out a bottle of Mo. Me personally, I didn't go for Moet. I was a Guinness guy.
Oh, okay.
back then. But it was, you know, my stint in the clubs in New York and seeing how people do and just watching the flavor and the flow. And, you know, I started to put these things together to spit in my way, but also have little words or little phrases that people would understand and feel a little more better to. So that's what happened with my career, man. And as I said, I owe it to the great people who did stuff before me. You know what I mean?
Amazing.
They
career.
paved the way.
Shout out to all of them. An amazing career, man. I DJ in my early DJ days. I DJed on this island called Reunion Island, La Reunion.
Yeah. I know over
And
there.
I had never been there. I was like the first American hip hop DJ to ever DJ there, and they was like, just play Sean Paul. That's what they told me. Just play Sean Paul, and you will kill this whole party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
man.
Shout out to you. So speaking about
place.
what you was talking about in the 90s and early 2000s, like hip hop and dancehall were pretty much like a marriage and inseparable. And I feel like that bond is not, I don't want to say it's lost, but it's not as strong as it once was with the hip hop and the dancehall together. Like, you know, when I used to listen to radio in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was like
you hear KRS-One and Shabba Ranks together.
Yeah, exactly. And Mad Lion. So
yeah, it's true.
What do you think happened? What happened to that bond, do you think?
The sound changed with hip hop a lot. You know, the trap sound just kind of was really slow for us. Our dancehall music, reggae is slow, but dancehall music is more fast paced. And it's been the dominant form of music since the late 70s in Jamaica. I would say probably early 80s is a better time frame to say that it became more dominant in Jamaica, even though Bob Marley was huge internationally. What U-Roy was doing and people like that. I'm big up to U-Roy. He passed away earlier this year. He's the first DJ like to do what we do today. You know, he taught Shabba Ranks, he taught everybody else. And that was really special to us because he was talking in our language. He was really spitting and not singing love songs or even revolutionary songs, just spitting. I was talking about the lady who just walked through here in the red dress. She looked so beautiful. You know what I mean? He would be spitting live rhymes, and that captivated us so much that you know, we have that sound now for the longest time. And then when trap music started to come in, it was a lot of this droning bass, and you can't really play a droning bass as fast as you know, our bass, drum and bass that we do in dancehall. I myself have tried to do it. I produced a rhythm called Gang Gang.
Okay.
And you know, it's using those droning basses and whatnot, and we kind of found a way to do it now. And there's a lot of kids going around in Jamaica now saying that they're doing trap dancehall, which I don't like to call it trap dancehall. I just like to call it the new sound of dancehall, because I don't want to really follow what's happening in terms of try to bite what's happening in the States.
Yeah.
Even though it's a symbiotic relationship, as I said, Bob Marley was, you know, a fan of Curtis Mayfield and learn from him, learn chords, learn melodies, you know, stuff like that. So the same type of thing is happening now, as I said, with these younger kids, like who I have on the album, Intense, people like there's a kid called Tommy Lee that they call one of the big dudes that do that. So the rhythms are definitely a little different. But I think that was the divide between what was happening in dancehall. Because even when I first started, as I said, you know, I did songs with the Clips, I did songs with Busta Rhymes. I was continuing that trend. But somewhere along that line, you know, dance music came in, and dance music is fast paced, and so is dancehall. And I did Temperature, and it's kind of like, you know, the same pace. But trap music is a lot slower. So I think that was the real disconnect. However, you know, as I said, these kids are gravitating towards that type of sound now. Those bass lines and the drums, you know, the 808s and whatever are special, you know what I mean? So we're kind of experimenting with how that sounds right now. You could hear the last track on this album on Live and Living is called Everest. And it's a track produced by DeMarco. Big up to him. And so, yeah, that's a more of a trap dancehall type of thing that's going on right now in our culture. So maybe one day we'll hook up with some of these cats, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, man.
Life and Living is out right now. You know, we got to talk about what you said about verses. We got to talk about Lionheart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yo, bro. Well, talk to us about what you was just saying in Lionheart.
So I did that song because, so a good friend of mine interviewed me. It was one of the first interviews I did. I think the first one since the whole pandemic thing. And he asked me, yo, would I ever do a verse? And I was like, nah. And he was like, why? I said, remind me of clashing. He's like, oh, but clashing is your culture's, it's your forte, it's what y'all do. And I'm like, yeah, it is a big part of the culture, but right now there's a negative thing about it. It's not just about testing each other's skill anymore. People calling each other's moms' names in the songs and kids' names. And there's so much violence around us. I just feel that I don't want to be involved in that. And also, I didn't clash coming up. Neither did Shaggy, neither did Coffee, neither did Conscience, neither did Charlie Blacks. None of those people clash. And they all are people who, Egyptian, Serrani, they all are people who got songs on major radio stations in the States, and they didn't clash. You know what I mean? So I think it's unfair to say that it's the focal point of our genre. It's a big part of it, but it ain't the focal point. And dude said to me, but sports is kind of like competitive. And I'm like, yeah, but sports got rules. You got to train a lot for the sports. So when I said what I said, bro, you know the movie Django? And he's like, yeah. I said, clashing remind me of Django. And he said, how? I said, you know the part when there's two kids fighting in this living room and there's all these white people smoking cigars and drinking cognac and watching these two people fight for entertainment. And then one of them hands the guy a hammer and he says, finish him. And that just seems like it to me. Caperton is a big DJ here in Jamaica, someone who I revere his work. And he says, music is a mission, not a competition. And also Super Cat, who's my father in the business, he said, I build champion, I don't kill champion. So that's my whole stance on the clashing thing. And because I said that thing about Django, a lot of it was written in the papers out here and everybody came after me. Yo, you can't talk about that, about your culture. And so I wrote the song Lionheart to kind of clash the whole culture. I'm like, listen, I'm one of the highest streaming artists. I'm one of the most international viewed artists from this genre right now. And I think I have a say. And my say is I don't want to do that no more. And so the song says, who's going to hate me now for talking my truth, basically. Just a very potent song because I kind of touched on the headlines that the newspapers said out here. It was like, Sean Paul says clashing is like slavery. And I was like, whoa. So
the media always wants to make things negative just for views.
They want to sell their papers, right? So I get that. And so I'm like, okay, you're going to sell your papers. I'm going to sell a song now just because of you. And I put the song together and basically clash the whole culture. I'm just trying to say, we need to wake up and think. There's too much violence nowadays, man. It's like having a very big river that all my little cousins are jumping in. And I'm like, yo, don't jump in there. You can't swim. You're going to wash away soon. And they all wash away one by one because I'm not saying the lyrics is making them do it, but I'm just saying that the sentiment of it, you know what I mean? It's too soon. I wouldn't want to see my cousins wash away in a violent river and then sing about it like I'm happy that it happened. You know what I mean? So that's my thing. I just kind of want to be the change I want to see in the universe. And I'm against that right now. And that's what that song is about. And also I followed it up with Lionheart, which features Muta Baruka, a great dub poet from Jamaica. And he's a philosopher and a radio show host out here that gives us all the conspiracy theories and teach us about Rastafari and a lot of stuff. And it features also Jesse Royal, a great artist. And it's about putting down the guns, you know what I mean? Stone Boy is on the remix. But it's about putting down the guns because we don't build the guns, we don't build the bullets here. We don't bring them into the country, but we are pulling the triggers. And I just think it's messed up, man. I've had many friends that has passed. I'm not talking a few. I'm talking many by violent means. You know what I mean? And I'm tired of it. I'm really tired of it.
I hear you, man. This song Lionheart is on his new project, Live and Living, that's out right now. So what do you feel about, Swiss and Timbaland, and shout out to Swiss and Timbaland basically
I've-
saying versus is more of a celebration. I know the public doesn't act that way, but they're
yeah,
they're saying that versus is more of celebrating each other. You know what I'm saying?
it's billed as the versus battle. I got a lot of respect for Swiss Beats. I got a lot of respect for Timbaland. I've been around the two of them. We've conversed. We've spoken of different things over my career. And as I said, I have a lot of respect for them. And for every artist that came on there, I was mad proud that Beanie and Bunty drove the numbers way up. You know, but for me, as I said, I want to be the change, and it starts there. It's called the versus battle, and I don't want to battle in music. I don't want to do it anymore. To me, I can show versatility. I can show my potency in a very big way, which is what I'm doing on this album. We are all competing on this album. Massacre and Skillabang is going hard in that last song, and I'm doing it too. And we're competing against each other to make the song fresher, to make the fans get hyper, to make the album more dope. And I think that's the way we need to show the potency now. I've seen reggaeton come along, and I don't see them beefing much, and I just see them blowing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's about unity is the best community for dancehall right now for me. I feel like even the fans got to do their part. You know what I mean? Because it's the same thing. I don't want to wake up the next morning and have to discuss with my friend who was better, Keisha Cole or Ashanti. I think the both of them sexy as hell, and the both of them can sing off their pants, and I just want to enjoy them. So just like D'Angelo did, I would do a verses like that. I'd never seen anybody do a verses where it's just them, and then they're calling on people to share the spotlight with them, not to try and part the crowd, as in, you know, who's better than who. I don't think music is for that. It's supposed to bring us together.
So the energy, because I'm not out there, the energy in Jamaica with the Beanie Man and Bounty Killer versus, it wasn't on some.
Everybody's proud of it, bro. I was proud of it. I mean, and they weren't clashing really. None of these people are really clashing, but it was just something I said in an interview that came out, you know, that way. And then the papers printed it as this big slavery statement. And, you know, it became a thing. And I was like, you know, I felt like there was all these things pitching on me. So I had to brush them off a little bit. I had to be like, yo, love me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, this next question's irrelevant then, because it's kind of a versus question. You already said that you wouldn't do a versus. So I don't know if you would tell me who can stand up to Sean Paul on the verses without even doing the verses.
People be calling Shaggy's name. People be calling Pitbull's name. I personally think I have a lot of respect for all of them. I don't think none of them can handle me in that respect.
That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear that cockiness.
Yeah, but honestly,
Shaggy, I love you, Shaggy. Shaggy's my guy.
I revere the both artists. I've been on tour with the both of them. They're dope.
Well, Pitbull, I can't put in that dancehall category, so I wouldn't even put y'all two together. He's more. That's a whole different category. Shaggy, I could put in your category, but your Dutty Rock album, you could do a versus just with that album and destroy everybody.
Yeah, and destroy a bag of people. But that's the thing. The thing is, you know, Bob Marley paved this great highway for me to walk on, and then I'm gonna go on the highway with all the world looking at me, and kind of disrespect someone else's efforts and career. And you know, it's not about that for me. As I said, music is a mission, not a competition. That's Capital. We build champion, we not kill champion. That's Super Cat. I believe in those statements a lot, and I want to live that way, man. And so, you know, I just have no intention to go up against someone. I'd rather bring you on stage.
Last question, man. What's going on with the legalization of marijuana in Jamaica?
I just had a meeting about this morning. Some people trying to get me involved with a company abroad. I was always worried that the original farmers that had our strains out here were going to get pushed aside, and maybe the strains get crazy messed with. And so said, so done, man. We've kind of made not a mess of it, but it's just a little bit tangled up right now. In terms of there's so much more people consuming weed now, I guess, because it's decriminalized, and there's these dispensaries around the place. But to me, all the dispensary weed tastes like cardboard. And I go to the original farmers, and they're crying. They're like, yo, we don't, you know, weed prices are so high now. So they're throwing up their weed prices as well. So I'm crying to them, but they're trying to compete with the dispensaries. So all that I thought that was a bad thing that might happen kind of did. And it would be nice to see the original farmers or find back some of our strains that do well in our ecosystem. We have a very humid climate. Jamaica is hot, but it's not always baking hot like a desert. We got green all around us, as you can see. So it makes it humid. And with that humidity, the ganja plant or the marijuana plant actually likes dry, arid conditions with a little bit of water. And so we had a strain out here. We had strains out here that did well in our conditions. It was adapted to what we had, our environment, you know what I mean? Our ecosystem. So now that people brought down all these different strains, they're not doing so well. And they taste like cardboard. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? So it's unfortunate, but I know we're going to work it out soon. We're going to find back the strains that do well here one day. And it's going to taste better and it's going to hit you harder. And
you're going to send me a package of just a tremendous amount of it.
I will, sir. I will do that. I will do.
Live and Living is out right now. It's amazing. Great project. Go get it right now. Sean Paul is one of the GOATs. And I look forward to you said you got the album coming out on Island real soon too, right?
Yeah, that album's coming out in May. I don't have a date in May yet, but everything is finished. I got songs with Sia on there again. Big up to Sia. Ty Dolla $ign is on the album, one of the few rappers nowadays that I really have respect for. And no disrespect to the whole genre, man, but I rate like Tory Lanez, Amigos, and Ty Dolla $ign, and not everybody in the industry right now. But yeah, who else is on the album? Stylo G's on the album. Gwen Stefani and Shensia on one song, a Lovers Rock reggae song.
I never met her, but I like Shensia a lot. Yo, she's dope.
Dope, bro.
She did that. I already knew she was moving musically, but I saw that a freestyle she did recently, and she just got a different.
The BET thing, yeah, she dope, man. Very dope. She could sing. She could spit hard like a dude, and she does it, man. You know, she's. A lot of people said that she was falling off of the coattail. Her first song was a song with Vybz Kartel. And Kartel, everybody knows, is a great lyricist. So everybody kind of put that on him, saying he was the one that made it happen. Of course, it was his song. But I've been in studio with her, and she's really dope. She comes up with them bars by herself, and she know what she's doing.
You know what greatness always comes hate, man. They're gonna hate. Yeah. You know, it is
for sure. So I just want to big up Shaggy and Spice. We got a song coming out. I'm excited for her. It's her album coming out soon, I think this summer. But the first single is dropping April 30th with me and Shaggy on it, and it's called Go Down. So big vibes.
Dope, man. I'm looking forward to that, man. And I'm looking forward to the new project, and I'm looking forward to more moves from you, man. You're one of the legends in the game. And I'm happy to say that I actually went on tour and got to experience that. And I can't wait for the world to open back up, because a performer like you must be like, God damn. Like,
yeah. I got virtual performances coming up April 10th if anybody wants to log in or log on or whatever. But it ain't nothing like the live things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So one day we get back to that, bro. And maybe that's the time I'm gonna bring the box for you, the box of herbs.
And we'll end it right there. Yes, the 3 boxes of herbs. I heard you.
All right. See.
Sean Paul, my brother, thank you for the interview. I appreciate you, and hopefully we can link in person soon. This is the feature presentation. DJ Sus One, Taste on Dash Radio.
So Swan, salute, bro. Big up.
Love, bro.
Thank you.